Hi everybody, Doug here. Welcome back to yet another board game channel and yet another go at a round of Eldritch Horror. Still trying to keep back Nephren-Ka, the Dark Pharaoh. It's being frustratingly slow going. Really hoped that we would have gotten that second mystery solved by now, but everybody keeps failing to pick up clues, although we will be able to do it this turn. Investigators in the right area have enough combined clues so we can get them together and do things. One of our investigators is cursed. Diana, on her very first turn, trying to help out, managed to get herself cursed. And yeah, Silas is very close to insanity at two mental health. It's not going well, and we've only got 3 Mythos cards left, so well, we'll see if it's possible to salvage this. So we'll get right into the investigator action phase. Diana is still our lead investigator, so for her, we're going to send her off towards Egypt in case we need backup there, in case something goes horribly wrong, which it likely will. So for her first action, she is going to move to the pyramids. For her second action, we are just going to grab a focus token for her. Yeah, she doesn't need healing, so no resting required. Run a wilderness space, so can't acquire assets. So yeah, the focus is it. All right, over to the Egypt sideboard, where we'll join Mark and Vincent. Okay, up first is Mark, who will do a free local path action, bringing him to Amarna. For his first proper action, he's going to move to the Nile, and then after that he's going to do a trade action and grab this clue from Vincent. Mark now has 2 clues, which he can use very soon to get that mystery done. Finally. Alright, Vincent is going to move away from that space, so first action he's going to move here. I think we're going to go visit George, try to pick up some stuff. At least if we have Sir Brinton in our possession, clues will spawn on Reckonings, and I'm pretty sure we have all Reckonings left on our last 3 cards. For his second action, we're going to... Actually, I think I was going to have him grab a focus token, but I think maybe, yeah, we'll rest instead. So bring him back up to 4 sanity and 5 health. Yeah. So he's in slightly better shape. Alright, back to the main board, and we will finish up the actions with Silas. Alright, Silas is in Sydney. First thing we're going to do is have him move. He's going to go off this side of the board and around to the other side. So he will come around here to space 3. Second action, we're going to have him use his special ability. Lets him move along a C space and perform 1 extra action. So while there, he is going to also rest, which will bring him back up to his full health of 8. But more importantly, we'll get him up to a sanity of 3. That's, yeah, 2 is not good. Alright, into the encounters, and we will move around to Diana again. Alright, Diana at the pyramids. Gonna try to pick up that clue while she's there. Probably need that. So the pyramids is a wilderness space. A dark power compels you to travel through the unknown for miles. You come at last to a shrine covered in hieroglyphs upon which lies the source of the calling. If you have a dark pact condition, the power compels you to smash the object to bits. Discard this clue. She does not have one. If you do not have a dark pact condition, awesome, you take it. Gain 1 relic unique asset. Well, that's really, really terrible. I don't know how I feel about dark pacts. Going through all the deals. There we are. Ugh. She gains a dark pact condition on a reckoning. She rolled a die on a 1. We're going to flip it over and see what horrors await. But at least we get 1 relic unique asset. So yeah, here we are with the unique items, and we're going to, oh, right away, first thing on the bottom, this jeweled scarab, trinket, magical relic. You may re-roll 1 die when resolving a lore or sanity check. Well, that's good. On a reckoning, if you or another investigator on any space has an ornate scarab unique asset, you may flip this card. Okay. Kind of an odd reckoning effect, but let's just hope that Diana doesn't roll any 1s. Alright, over to the Egypt sideboard. Mark is up next, and we're going to finish off this mystery. Right, Mark is hanging out on the banks of the Nile. So, we will just flip over. Now should be the one on the bottom. Do that a wee bit so it'll focus better. There we go. An old man begs you to take his curse upon yourself. You may gain a cursed condition to accept. If you gain the condition, it restores your capacity to suffer, recover 2 health, and 2 sanity, and discard any number of impairment tokens and or bane conditions. I think I'm going to pass. The only one of those things that's going to apply, because Mark is in fine physical and mental shape, is he would lose his 1 influence impairment. But his influence is pretty low anyway. I don't think it's worth it, given Mark's current state. It's not worth it to take the cursed condition. So I will put that card back. Most importantly, on this space. After an investigator resolves an encounter on a space containing an Eldritch token, which the Nile does, he may spend 2 clues to place that Eldritch token on this card. 2 clue tokens. Go away. I'm going to grab this token and add it to the card, giving us 2. Which means at the end of the upcoming Mythos phase, if there are Eldritch tokens on this card equal to half investigators, that is 2. We will finally solve this mystery and see if the following one is even remotely feasible in the remaining couple of turns. Alright, that is it for Vincent. No, sorry, that is it for Mark. We're going to Vincent. We're just going to readjust the camera slightly. Okay, Vincent is on Amarna. Where George is, we're going to visit George, pick up his stuff, and see what other beneficial effects we might be able to squeeze out of the card. You find George in the hospital, broken and battered. The injuries to his hands and jaw make communication a slow process. He gives you what he can. Gain all of his possessions. So yeah, let's just go grab those. Which means, yes, we now have Sir William Brinton hanging out with Vincent. And we have the Spirit Dagger and the Funding the Cause task, which we're probably not going to do much with at this late in the game. Alright. George tries to guide you through the necessary steps to secure his accumulated wealth. We're going to test will. Well, that's good. Vincent has 5 will. Yeah, we got 2 successes there. So what do we get? If you pass, you get the money and learn who was trying to take it. Gain 1 investment asset and 1 clue. Alright, grab the clue first. That's easier to find. Alright. Giving Vincent a clue. Now we will just search for an investment. Or debt. Dark Pact, debt. Funding. Investment asset. Hold on. I'm looking in the wrong pile. Right, here we are. I just dug it out of the discard pile. The one that George had earlier. Swan of Reckoning, which is coming up. Your investment is paid off. We will discard this to get a funding condition. Alright. Yeah, either way, and George leaves the story and just hopes and prays that he doesn't die while in the hospital as the entire world crumbles around him. We're going to try to stop that. Alright, that is it for Vincent. Now we will just wrap up the encounters and visit Silas. But first, just got a notification about a comment on an earlier video, and Mark Christopher pointed out a small error that will be really easy to fix right now. When George was taken out, he should have moved to the nearest city space and dropped everything there. So really, rather than staying in Amarna, George should have gone to either Cairo or Alexandria. Let's say he went to Alexandria. But that fortunately doesn't change anything, because Vincent could have just taken a free local path action, gone to Alexandria, and had exactly the same encounter that he did. Yeah, thank you, Mark, for pointing that out. Alright, now we'll go join Cyrus over in Buenos Aires. Alright, finally, Silas. We're going to go ahead and clear up this ongoing rumor. It would be very frustrating if we were really close to winning and then a gate opened up and sucked one of us through. And it's very easy to clear up. As an encounter investigator in Buenos Aires, may work with the scientists at the university. Oh wait, no, we do have to roll for it. Duh. It's not as easy as I thought. So we're going to give that a go. Just the 1 die. Yeah, he's in the area, so we might as well give it a shot. Nope. It's okay, we can send him off to do other things in the meantime if we need to. Alright, that is it for encounters. Now, Mythos phase. Alright, here we go. This will be a reckoning. Yeah, nothing we can do about it. So, we are first going to move the omen track. That is around to a blue. We don't have any blues. We have a red one in the Heart of Africa and a green one in Istanbul. You know, I could probably send Diana up there to clear all these monsters out, because there's a cultist there, and she can do that. Okay, see about that next turn. Next up, of course, the Reckoning. We will start with monsters. Right, the deep one, I believe we're okay, because it just affects you if you're on that space. Yes, each investigator on the space loses a sanity. Oh wait, it's an epic monster, so she probably can't clear that. Alright, well, Zombie Horde, we are going to roll, and on a 1 or a 2, we need to advance Doom. Ugh. 3. Alright. And now I believe Diana is going to take a slight hit. An investigator on this space or an adjacent space loses 1 health or 1 sanity. Well, her health is stronger, so we will remove 1, knocking her down to 6. Next, the Ancient One. Right, to prevent a sanity loss, everybody's going to get pulled 1 space closer to the bent pyramid. Which means, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the shortest route. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, the shortest route for Silas is dragging back there. Means Diana is actually going to get pulled right onto the Egypt sideboard. Let's go over there and have a look. Right, so here she's essentially on the pyramid board. So she gets pulled there. Vincent gets pulled to the pyramids. Mark gets pulled back to Tel El Amarna. Alright, that's it for the Ancient One Reckoning effect. Now we'll just go back to the main board, and this is the part I'm dreading. Possessions, and worst of all, conditions. Okay, starting with Diana. Well, one that's not going to have any effect is the Jeweled Scarab she just picked up, which would flip if somebody else somewhere had the Ornate Scarab. Next, let's see if we have any luck and get rid of her curse condition. On a 4, 5, or 6, we will be discarding the curse. 5. Yes, no longer curse. Now we have to deal with that Dark Pact that was foisted upon her. We want to roll anything except 1. We rolled a 1. Pact with Yog-Sothoth. The blasphemous power takes hold of you. Well, she is a cultist. Maybe this was left over from her cultist days. Forcing you to carry out the desires of the lurker at the threshold. Spawn 1 gate for each spell you have, then advance the omen by 1. She does have 1 spell. Oh, then discard the card. So at least this won't repeatedly happen. So we will spawn a single gate from this effect. And, oh, it's going to be in the Sahara Desert on the sideboard. And the critter that appears will be a Shoggoth, which has a Reckoning effect. Oh, on Reckoning, it completely heals. And it's a tough one to hurt. Right. And then advance doom by 1. So we're down to 4. I think this is going to be tight. Mark does not have any reckonings. Vincent does. First thing we'll do is Sir Brinton, who will spawn a clue. It's going to be space 20. Right. Right there. I want to do the good one first, or the bad one first. Let's do the bad one first. Let's see if the haunted kicks in. We're going to roll the die. On a 1, 2, or 3, we will have to flip the haunted card. 3. Yeah, it's all going to kick in, isn't it? Wherever you go, the phantom follows, always watching you. The spirit never leaves your side, even in public, as we can see there. Each day you hear the shrieks of horror from anyone who sees it, lose one's sanity, and impair influence. Okay, that'll knock him down to 3 sanity. And we'll just find one of those little orange tokens. I'm going to impair his influence, so he's down to 2. Then, the other one that kicks in is, yeah, your investment is paid off. You may discard this card to gain a funding condition. Well, we might as well. Don't know if it'll do us any good this late in the game. We will do debt, dark pact, agreement, funding. You may discard this card in place of gaining a debt condition or to discard a debt condition. On reckoning, if you're on a city space, you may flip the card. And then, finally, Silas. He also has this haunted condition, which will kick in on a 1, 2, or 3. Okay, at least he rolled a 4, and it didn't do anything to him. I suppose that could have been worse. That was more annoying than anything. Now we will do a proper gate spawn. Going to be in San Francisco. Right there. And stepping out of the gate are some serpent people, although it's got a spawn condition. It actually appears in the Amazon, and it has a reckoning. Roll a die. On a 1 or a 2, it moves to the nearest, moves 1 space towards the nearest investigator. All right. Now the rest of it, and I'm not looking forward to it because there are tentacles. Reports from all over the world indicate that cults have begun to use Ojibwe dream catchers in their rituals. They seem to be trying to use them to manipulate travelers in the dreamlands. You fear what sort of result they might be achieving. Dreamcatcher event. Each investigator with a lost in time and space condition is devoured. Well, fortunately that's no one. Then each investigator on a space containing a gate gains a lost in time and space condition. Nobody's on a gate space right now. So at least the tentacles weren't bad. There was no effect from that. Okay, that's a relief. I am now beginning to very much worry about Doom, though. Well, we'll see. But now, at the end of the Mythos phase, if Exploring Egypt has 2 Eldritch tokens on it, which we do, we will solve the mystery and take the next one on top of the pile, the Black Wind. A viscous, or no, it is vicious. A vicious tempestuous storm wreaks havoc among the people and lands of Egypt, having naught but desolate wasteland, leaving naught but desolate wasteland in its wake. And yet, it may only be masking an even deadlier threat. When this card enters play, place one Eldritch token on each of the following spaces. Okay, well, it's all on the Egypt sideboard. We'll just move over to see where those all show up. Alright, place an Eldritch token. Alexandria, does that mean we place another one there? I don't know if the others go away because we have solved the mystery. Yeah, I think we probably have to leave it. Yeah, I'd rather not put on an extra one. Alexandria, the Bent Pyramid, Cairo, and Tel El Amarna. The rest of it. As an encounter, an investigator on a space containing an Eldritch token may attempt to banish the Black Wind from Egypt. He draws and resolves a Black Wind special encounter. That's there's a couple here. Is that no? Okay, that's the Dark Pharaoh deck. That must mean, oh, yes, I probably could have figured it out because the picture matches the picture on the mystery. So we'll be doing encounters from this deck. Yeah, draw and resolve one of those. At the end of the Mythos phase, if there are Eldritch tokens on this card equal to, in our case, 2, solve this mystery. This is doable as long as everybody has good encounters in Egypt. We have what? We have two Mythos cards left. May just have to ignore everything else completely, have Silas go over to Egypt as well, and just do encounter after encounter. Of course, it's going to take Silas a couple of turns to get there. Well, okay, this is feasible. I was afraid we'd have to fight some big epic monster or have to collect a massive amount of clues. And we only need to do half the investigators, not the full. It's also dreading something that we had to do 4 of. We might be able to do this as long as the reckonings don't clobber us and doom doesn't plummet. Say, yeah, the Omen track will only move 2 times unless there's a special Mythos card that moves it more, which means it will not quite get around to the red gate symbol, which is good because that has 3 red gates. We might actually get to do this. If we don't, it's still at least going to be really, really close. So we'll see what happens next time. Thanks very much, everybody, for watching. Thanks for all the subscriptions and for liking and commenting on the videos, both on YouTube and Board Game Geek. It's very much appreciated. And I will see you next time when we play yet another turn of Eldritch Horror. So long.